Testing audio 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Testing audio 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Testing audio 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good evening, Sharks fans, and welcome into the Shark Tank. We're here on an odd Thursday evening. It's time to welcome in the storm after the storm. This is the rescheduled game from last Sunday afternoon against the North York Storm, Game 36 of the regular season for the Barrie Junior Sharks. My name is Cheryl Gilroy, along with my partner tonight, James Battaglia. Thank you so much for joining the live stream here this evening on a rare Thursday night. Nothing else is happening in U22. It's just us, which is kind of a cool thing. It was a beautiful drive up to Barrie, bright blue skies and sunshine. After all of the lousy, snowy weather that we've had as of late, it was great to see the sun today. So I'm very grateful to be up here and covering one more game for the Barrie Sharks. They are coming off a 4-1 loss to the Durham West Lightning last Saturday, so they are anxious to get back into the win column this evening. The North York Storm are coming off a loss themselves on January 24th, 3-0 against the Brampton Canadettes. So they want to get back in the win column themselves, but there is a wide difference between these two teams. Barrie Sharks sitting in 9th place and the North York Storm sitting in 22nd place. One thing to note about the North York Storm is they have played the fewest amount of games in the regular season at 31. This is game 32. So they do have a lot more games to make up, where this is game 36 for the Sharks. Now hitting the ice, Ava Zador. I will talk about her to come later on here in the warm-up and during the team presentation, but she is taking a lap of honor this evening. And you can see all the cheers coming from behind the plexiglass for their goaltender, Ava Zador, as the Sharks now take to the ice. After today, the Sharks are on the road and visit Toronto Leaside this coming Saturday night. I will have that game for you. For the North York Storm, they're also in action on Saturday night as they travel down the road to Whitby, Ontario, and play against the Wolves. It's hard to imagine that we're just getting set to enter February. February 1st hits on Sunday, and that means we're inching ever closer to the playoffs. So there are only a few number of games left. For Barrie, they wrap up the regular season on the weekend of March 7th and 8th with two games at home, The North York Storm also wrap up their season at home on March the 8th as they host the Ottawa Sens. So February fast approaching. February will be a very quick month. A lot of games on the road for the Barrie Sharks, with the month ending in a road trip, their second road trip to Ottawa. So that will be a fun trip. And then those last few games on March the 1st, that third game is in Ottawa, and then games on March the 7th and March the 8th to wrap up the regular season. We're a minute here into warm-up. We'll get set here for our player presentation, our special announcement for Ava Zador, and the national anthem. Stand by, folks. Now, with the Sharks suffering that loss last Saturday against the Durham West Lightning, they have to restart their point streaks. Maddie McKay was coming off a 5-game point streak, so I'm sure she's anxious to begin a new one. There are a couple of scratches in the lineup this evening for the Barrie Sharks. Number 17, Sam Lormant. Number 29, Jenny Keller, and number 82, Kate Stewart are all out. And joining us this evening as call-ups, wearing number 16 is Ella Sabaran. We remember seeing her at the beginning of the season. And number 18, Ali Homick, who is joining us from U18 AA. They've both played with the Sharks before, so I'm sure that they will fit right in. Less than 2 minutes to go in warm-up, folks. Stand by. So James, I hear there's a special day coming up. Is it Monday? Is it Groundhog Day? It is, yeah. Are we hoping that Wyerton Willie sees a shadow? Do you think so? I think all of us are kind of fed up with winter right about now. There's been a lot of snow around southern Ontario. I know here in Barrie, they've received over 300 centimeters of snow, which is above average, and that's all just in the month of January. It's crazy. I think I'm ready for spring to come early, definitely. I want to take the opportunity to welcome in any North York Storm fans who are enjoying the stream this evening. Welcome aboard. We hope you enjoy the game and cheer on your favorite North York Storm player. I'm happy to have the live stream on for everybody, not just our Sharks teams, but everybody else who wants to tune in. Final 30 seconds. And of course, welcome on to anybody else who's watching across the nation, into the United States, overseas, or just driving in your car. Sit back, relax, enjoy the hockey game, turn up the volume, and let's enjoy some U22 Elite action here on this Thursday evening in Barrie, Ontario. Final seconds of warm-up. Stand by. Starting lineup for the North York Storm. On forward, number 11, Emily Wallace. Number 63, Amber Nazir. Number 16, Olivia Letty. On defense, Larissa Mayer and Samantha Wong, and starting in net, number 41, Caitlin Earle. For the Barrie Junior Sharks, on forward, number 7, Simone Swanson. Number 9, May Severn. Number 55, Kaya Harbeck. Number 44, Kathleen Dion on defense, and also on defense, number 72, Annabella Cosgrave. And starting in net this evening, number 58, Riley Maxwell. This evening, we are proud to celebrate another Junior Sharks special milestone. On Sunday, January the 18th, goaltender Ava Zador broke the all-time sports record and appeared in her 60th game start for the Junior Sharks. Ava faced 17 shots and helped her team to a 7-1 win versus the Oakville Junior Hornets. Ava sets a competitive and unwavering tone for her team, accomplished through hard work ethic and quiet leadership, earning the trust of teammates and coaches alike. The record-setting 60th game start is a testament to her hard work, dedication, and the love of the game. At this time, we ask the alternate captains to join Ava at center ice for a celebration and a presentation of flowers. That is May Severn and Sonia Mehta at center ice with Ava with the flowers. Congratulations, Ava Zador, on your 60th start as a junior Shark. Now time for our national anthem. Everyone will don their helmets and get set with their equipment, and while we do that, I'll take a look at the starting goaltenders. First for the North York Star, number 41, Caitlin Earl, with a record of 3-12. Save percentage, .888, with a goals against average of 4.07. And on the other side, Riley Maxwell, 9 wins and 7 losses with a save percentage of .927 and a goals against average of 177. So two teams on a little bit on different ends of the lineup, or in the standings. Sharks are still sitting in 9th place and they want to move their way up. North York just want to stay in the hunt and hopefully get themselves into a playoff position, which, if it follows the same as last year, will be the top 16 teams. We're set to go. Olivia Wallace on the face-off dot versus May Severn. 20 minutes on the clock for period number 1. We are set to go. Puck is down. Game 36 of the regular season for the Barrie Junior Sharks, squaring off against the North York Storm. North York hops on that puck really quickly, sends it into the Shark zone. Riley Maxwell finds it and sends it out, looking for Kaya Harbeck, but it's cut off at the blue line, but only momentarily. Here comes Annabella Cosgrave. She'll shoot it in, and a glove stop there quickly by Earl, and we are off and running. The Storm really jumped on that puck quickly off the face-off, getting a first chance in. Riley Maxwell getting it out. There was a brief interruption at the blue line, but the Sharks took over and had their first shot in on net. Puck is down, and the puck will escape all the way down back to Riley Maxwell. Icing is waved off. Nazir chasing after that puck. Shot in quickly from Wallace at the near side. Picked up by Larissa Mayer at the blue line. Amanda McKay trying to find it and poke it free. Tries a couple of times, but Nazir keeps cutting her off. Sharks defense sends it behind the net. Mally Winter doing all she can to collect that puck, but it goes right back to Kathleen Dion behind the net. 27, Ashlyn Donald gets it out in front, and a shot in, just scooting through the blue paint. Out to Wong at the blue line, over to Hartle. She'll send it down behind the goal line. North York doing all they can to keep that puck in the Sharks' end. Quick shot in by Halliday, and a pad save for Maxwell. Play continues here. North York drove the net again with a shot just past the near side post. That was Halliday again. Sharks doing all they can to stay on that puck and clear it out of the zone. North York just being relentless. In comes McNichol. She pickpockets, gets it out in front to her teammate with a quick shot in. Sharks will finally find that puck, lift it, and get it out of harm's way. Back to Hartle. She sends it forward looking for McNichol. Sharks take over, bring it right back. Here's Abby Brunwell chasing after it. Michaela Dunn trying to get in her way. They'll go past and into the far side corner where Sadie Francis is going to try to gather it. Gabby Willard trying to poke it away from the blue line. North York coming right back again into the Sharks' end. Willard trying to battle away at it and get rid of it off the far side boards. North York trying to drive the slot, and our first penalty of the game is coming. And I think it's going to go against North York for body contact. And it is. So the first power play is going to go for the Barrie Sharks. Number 22, Michaela Dunn, is going to sit 2 minutes or less in the sin bin for body contact. And we'll have a face-off right in the North York end. Face-off just to the left of Earl. Sadie France in to take the draw versus Wallace. I'll have to be careful. There's a Wallace on North York and a Wallace on the Sharks. I'll have to make sure I specify which Wallace I'm talking about. Dion Temeta, back to the point for Dion. She'll send it to the far side, skips over Sadie Francis' stick, but it's found by Elda Silva. Right back to the point for Dion. Down low for Meta. Back to the point. Loses the handle on that, so Dion's going to have to chase it back. Picked up quickly by Olivia Letty. She holds on to that puck. Passes it off to Emily Wallace. Wallace will lift it and put it down in play in the Sharks' end. Riley Maxwell's going to leave it for the defense. Here's Kathleen Dion. Meta down low. France up top. She comes down low. Here's Sonia Meta. Over the blue line. Trips over Inacio's stick, who was guarding that blue line, and the puck will come all the way back to Maxwell. Kathleen Dion. Looking at her options. She decides to go up top this time to Sadie French. She'll cross the red line. Gets across the blue. Sharks do all they can to hold on to that puck into the North York end and can't do it. They'll double back into the neutral zone. Here's Taya Wallace. Loses an edge as Wong pulls her stick. Mally Winter now behind the net. Back out in front for Charette now in the anchor point for the power play. May Severn driving it in. She'll make a turn. Send it to the far side for McKay. McKay working around the defense. Shot in, hits a body, and the puck will come back to neutral. May Severn gathering that puck and should come right back in. We got 20 seconds left on the power play. Being pushed off by Papadopoulos as she enters the zone. It'll come back to the neutral zone for Piper Seven. Up to Taya Wallace. 8 seconds remaining. Picked off by Nazir. Nazir will bring it in and going one-on-one with Piper Seven. She'll deke around that, and the Sharks will clear it, but we're back to 5-on-5, so nothing happening in that power play for the Barrie Sharks. Out steps Wallace. Actually, no, Wallace will hit that puck and then step off as the Sharks are changing up their lines. Ali Homick now on the ice with Ella Sabaran. Behind the North York goal and into the near side corner. Sharks try to pull it out in front and get a shot in on net. We're almost 5 minutes into the first frame here of this game. North York trying to shovel it out with the sticks, and they will work it free. Kira Hartle to the far side and out to Ashlyn Donald. Donald trying to push it through Annabella Cosgrave. Back to Sonia Meta, who will slide it up to Sadie France. Meta reclaims the puck as she enters the zone, trying to cut in. She'll go around, makes a half a lap. Hits the brakes, trying to drive it into the slot. North York keeps it on the outside, back to Cosgrave at the blue line. Shot in, skips aside, and it's deflected and hits the net, so we're going to have a face-off here in the North York end. Fast-moving first period so far, chances at each end, one power play, and we have 14:39 remaining in the period. Done to square off in the face-off dot. Out to McNichol, and she lifts it into the Sharks zone as the Sharks' Kaya Harbeck fights for it. McNichol nearly had another opportunity and almost a runaway for May Severn. Picked it by the North York Storm at the blue line. It goes behind the net. Sharks try to clear it out. It sits there for a second. May Severn trying to steer away around her North York rival. She'll bring it in and fire. Loose puck. Looking for a backhand. Earl with not one stop, but two great stops. Keeping this game at 0-0. Penalty being called. Another power play opportunity for the Barrie Sharks as number 44 Rowe is in the sin bin. Let's see what the Sharks can do with this power play. It'll come down low for the North York Storm and they will clear it out to neutral. Nearly a short-handed attempt for Wallace. She holds on to that puck but loses the edge before she has a chance to turn around. Here's Sonia Meta coming in with De Silva. Meta falls awkwardly, gets up okay though. Everything looks fine. Right out to Dion at the point. Meta with a one-timer save. Goes to the far side. Dion back at the point, down for Meta. Loses the handle for a quick second, so puts it down low for Abby Brumwell. Point blank on the far side, saved by Earl. Another shot in. Meta gathers that puck from the slot, taking her time. To the far side corner. De Silva turning around, hands it off to Sadie France, who fires it through. Hits a body in Larissa Mayer, and back out to the blue line. Mayer trying to find it. Back out to Dion at the blue line. Meta through the slot, fires that steered aside. Samantha Wong getting in the way of that shot. Looked like it hurt too. Shot in, it hits another body. Larissa Mayer finds it and gets rid of it, sending it down. Less than 45 seconds remaining in the power play for the Barrie Sharks. Here comes May Severn down the near side trying to get through Hardle. Can't make it past the blue line. Nazir getting in the way. Back to May Severn. Severn to Adriel Charette. Down to Severn. Trying to work around Hardle. She finds a way, gets through, hands it off, fires. Just misses over the crossbar. Back to Maddie McKay at the far side, who had that brilliant shot a second ago. To Charette at the point. One-timer, saved by Earl. Back at the blue line, and it's pushed into the neutral zone by Taylor. Down behind the goal line as Ava DaCosta will chase after it. Pushing it all the way down into the Sharks' end. Right out in front. Maxwell save, no! How did that puck not go in? It was right there on the line. No North York Storm could bat it in. Barrie Sharks defense doing their job and getting it out of the blue paint. Back to Hardman. Sending it through and we're back to 5-on-5. Sabarin chasing after it for the Barrie Sharks, can't find it. Over to Ava Shafero-Ignacio. Shot in, scores! Annabella Cosgrave comes to the slot and scores, and the Sharks are up 1-0 right before the halfway point of the game. Barrie Sharks goal scored by Annabella Cosgrave, her first goal of the season. She has racked up 9 assists, but that is her first goal of the season. Congratulations, Annabella Cosgrave. On the board and the monkey off the back. Puck is gathered and given over to Coach Rebecca. They're going to hang on to that. That's her first goal, I believe, as a Barrie Shark. Sharks back on the hunt. We'll bring it into the Storm end. Sadie France trying to find it behind the goal line and get it out in front. It's going to get picked up by the Storm. Halliday looking for Ashlyn Donald to get over the blue line, but not before they go offside. Face off just outside that blue line. It's going to be Taylor for the North York Storm versus Mally Winter. North York Storm have it after the draw. Reese Halliday trying to feed it off to her teammate, Ashlyn Donald. Both our call-ups this evening. Ali Holmick and Ella Sabrin with the assists on Annabella Cosgrave's first goal of the season. How awesome is that? Reese Halliday doesn't gather that puck quick enough. Here comes Mallie Winter. She fires it and hits the far side post. Back out into the neutral zone. Meta to Charette. She'll dump it down into the corner. North York is going to find it on the far side, but put it back to the near side corner. Meta at the blue line, cuts into the middle, fires it through, just floats by the far side post. May Severn trying to find it there in the far side corner. North York gets a hold of it. Out to McNichol. McNichol tried to go for a skate, but she kind of got knocked over there by Sonia Meta. Out the far side. Kira Hartle back in her own end. Feeding forward to McNichol. Back to the defense. And back into the neutral zone for Rowe. Sharks will dump it down into the North York end and go off on a line change. We got some fresh fins happening here with just under 9.5 minutes to go in the opening frame. 1-0 Barrie Sharks. Annabella Cosgrave, our goal scorer, behind the goal line, trying to hand it off to Dion. North York picking it up, back to the blue line. Dump it down back behind the goal for Nazir. Nazir looking to feed it out in front. Sharks find it. No! One-timer by Nazir with that loose puck, but it goes past the near side post. It'll float into the slot for Olivia Letty. She's pushed off the puck by Cosgrave. And it will clear the zone. Here comes Elda Silva. She's got a little bit of room. She's going to cut in, fire, pass off. What a feed to McKay. She'll gather that puck behind, trying to go in the short side. But Earls got the skate over to the post. What a feed. Elda Silva coming in with space and room, feeds it off to McKay, but they couldn't quite connect. Face off now in the North York end. It gets clear, comes all the way back. Not enough for icing. Charette trying to steer away from her North York rival. She's going to carry the puck out on her own over the red line and dump it in. Alice Sabrin finds it behind the goal line, feeding it back to the blue line for Mallie Winter. She'll put it through. On the far side is Ali Holmick. She can't get it around to the right side. Alice Sabrin now in the near side corner. Out for Holmick. She'll weave around and fires it through, and that just skips right over. Earl got a piece of it with the glove. Behind the goal line. North York Storm get it to neutral. Shafaro Anaso tries to put it into the Sharks' end. Sharks double back. Alice Sabrin can't get quite past the blue line. In comes Piper 7. Hits the deck, but still manages to get the puck in the right direction. Hartle getting in the way and sending it back to the Sharks' end. Now here's Kaya Harbeck crossing the line. Trying to center it up for May Severn, but it goes through the crease and, through the slot and to the other side. In comes Ashlyn Donnell, hands it off, fires. Maxwell gets a piece of it, just goes over the crossbar, out to May Severn. She's surrounded by 4 white sweaters, but she cuts around, hits the brakes, tries to drive through. Hartle putting her off stride. They'll battle for that puck here in the near side boards. It's Abby Brumwell versus Taylor and a couple other white sweaters. It comes out to the Sharks. Sadie France to the far side for Taya Wallace. She'll be chased by DaCosta. Ashlyn Donald finds it. Bit of sword play there by the Sharks. Get it into the near side boards. That was Abby Brumwell. Behind the goal line and out to Halliday. Halliday will release it and get rid of it, and that will be an icing call against the North York Storm. 6:33 remaining in the first period, 1-0. Goal scored by Annabella Cosgrave, her first goal of the regular season, and as a Shark in a regular season game. Face off to the left of Earl. Back to Charette at the blue line. She'll cut in through traffic, fires it in, loose puck. McKay coming in, fires again, another stop by Earl. Taylor taking it behind the net into the far side. Over to Donald. Donald will lift it right over the blue line and right in front of the Barrie bench. Quick pass up to McKay. She'll backhand into the near side corner with De Silva chasing after it. To the far side for Rowe. Rowe can't hold on to it. Back to Sonia Meta in the Sharks' end. To Willard. Willard back to Meta. Meta trying to find a lane forward. De Silva there. It bounces off of her. Sharks just come in onside. McKay handing it off to De Silva. Puck picked off by the North York Storm, and that's hit by a high stick, and that will be whistled dead. Rowe had her stick up way too high, trying to get that puck down onto the ice. Her teammate then touched it, and that is a high stick. May Severin on the draw. She's got Sabarin and Homick on the wings. Wallace now for the North York Storm has that puck. Feeds Nazir. She'll backhand it to Wallace, trying to cut to the middle. Being bothered by Ali Homick. North York holding on. Gently putting it out in front, and Maxwell covers that one up fast. Great action here in the first period so far. 5:19 remaining. Down behind the goal line. Cosgrave. Feeds off to Sabarin, who feeds off to Severin. Severin over the red line. Scott Homick with her, fires it in. Steered aside by Earl. Into the near side corner. Off the boards, looking for a North York Storm. Olivia Letty tried to put it forward to Nazir. They do get it, though. Cosgrave trying to fight it off. Here's Kathleen Dion. She'll come in by herself with three white sweaters in front of her, coming in off onside, dumping it down. Harbeck's going to find it on the other side. It'll come out. Papadopoulos to the far side. She's got Holden with her. They'll both chase after it behind the goal line. That's going to get covered by Maxwell for a face-off. You could just see the intensity that both teams are playing with. Very chippy, lots of pushing and shoving. We'll see how that continues through this game. To the blue line. Can't hold on to it, so Hardo's going to double back. DaCosta. Over the blue line and dumps it down. Maxwell. She'll leave it for Charette. Charette coming off with some steam. Gets around Donald, hands it off to Gabby Willard. They'll chase after it in the corner. DaCosta trying to get to it first. It'll bounce to the blue line. Quick handoff to Taylor, and she's got some room. Trying to cut in around Charette. Short side. Looked like Maxwell got a piece of it with the shoulder, and play continues. Hartle to Halliday for the North York Storm. Trying to feed off to Taylor. North York comes in the zone. Sharks reclaim the puck. To the far side for Taya Wallace, and out to Abby Brumwell, going one-on-one with Hardman. Steered off course a little bit, back to Meta. Looking for a one-timer on the far side. Goes to the plexiglass. Meta to Winter, looking for Brumwell. She finds it behind the net. Out to the blue line for Seven. Over to Meta. Back to the far side, shot in the short side, looking for a deflection in front. Loose puck. Earl trying to get over it and pounce on it. Puck is still loose, and it slides to the near side corner. Sharks still on the hunt, and that hits Halliday on the way in, deflecting to the far side. Another shot in by Seven, and that's put off. Shots coming fast and furious here in the past 60 seconds, but they can't find the back of the net during this endeavor, so they'll double back. Try again. Severn trying to get around Dunn. In comes Mayer. She gets her fixed up, and that is going to be a call. Check to the head. You could just see her hands come up and do the pushing, so she will sit 2 minutes in the sin bin. 2:18 remaining, and the Sharks will get another opportunity at a power play. Four minutes on that check to the head. So we'll wrap up the first period on the power play, and if nothing happens, we'll begin the second period on the power play for the Barrie Sharks. Letty trying to steer it around. It comes to the near side. Cosgrave couldn't hold the line. She'll double back and send over to Piper 7. Sabourin trying to chase after it behind the goal line. Can't find it, and the North York Storm get it out. Maxwell leaving it for Piper 7. Cosgrave down low. Sadie France up top. Down to Cosgrave. Gets to the blue line, but not over. North York push her back the other way. Minute and a half left here in round number 1. 7. Down to Cosgrave. Back to the far side looking for Sadie France. It'll come into the North York end, but it won't stay there long as DaCosta will backhand it and get it out, and we'll have another stoppage in play here. It looks like the Sharks are being called for too many players on the ice, so that will negate at least 2 minutes of the power play, and we'll have 4-on-4. Kathleen Dion will sit for that, and I believe it was too many players. Just got caught on a line change. That happens. Puck sits there for a second. Either team trying to get their stick loose to get on that puck. De Silva fires it through. That flies over the crossbar over to Ashlyn Donald. Back to DaCosta. 4-on-4 hockey, so a lot of open ice as we go into the final minute of play in the first period. De Silva can't get past Hartle. Donald getting over the red line, but only momentarily. Here comes Charette. She scores! 4 white sweaters in front of her, and 4-on-4, and Advil Charette gets a goal. 2-0 Barrie Sharks with 41 seconds remaining in the first period. Barrie Sharks goal scored by number 77, Advil Charette, with her 4th goal of the season. Final 35 seconds here of the first period. Now 2-0 Barrie Sharks. Severn with the assist on that goal. Taya Wallace coming in over the blue line, hits the brakes. Down to Piper 7, she'll cut in and fire. And Earl's got it in the pads. Time for one more face-off here to the left of Earl before we take a Zamboni break. Definitely been an exciting first period. They'll battle for it on the near side. It comes to the slot, but only momentarily. In the near side corner. It'll break free for Nazir. Nazir will gather it up, but can't get far because the buzzer will sound the end of the first period. So after 20 minutes, it's 2-0 Barrie Sharks. That was a fast-paced first period. I think we're in for an equally fast-paced second and third. So hope you guys can come on back and join us for that. So stand by. See you on the flip side. Welcome back to the Shark Tank, ladies and gentlemen. Getting set here for the second period. 2-0 here, Barrie Sharks. Got 1:42 remaining here in the 4-on-4. After those 2 penalties at the end. Now, normally at this time, I'll bring you up to date on the out-of-town scoreboard, but there's no more out-of-towns to talk about because this is the only game in U22 Elite this evening, as this is a makeup game. Bring you up to date on the goal scorers door. Number 72, Annabella Cosgrave notches her first goal of the campaign, the 2025-2026 campaign, with the assists from Sabran and Homick, and Adriel Charette scoring her 4th goal of the season with an assist from May Severn. And here we are, ready to go for period number 2. Sadie France and Emily Wallace are in the face-off dot. Again, I take that back, 41 seconds remaining in the 4-on-4. De Silva trying to fight her way through. Can't get all the way there. Being held off by Hartle at the same time, so Sharks don't get all the way to the goal line. Emily Wallace for the North York Storm has that puck. She's got Wong with her. She'll come in. Looking for a friendly stick out in front. Sharks put it aside and out the other end, right to the blue line for Wong. Wong holds the line. Over to Nazir. Wong to the far side again. Shot through looking for deflection just past the far side post. Backhand. Maxwell holding on to that post. Dion is now out of the net, and that's going to get whistled dead because, out of the penalty box. I wanted to say net because the net was knocked off, and that's why the whistle was blown. So 51 seconds now remaining to the infraction to Larissa Mayer. Still 2-0. Mally Winter to square off in the face-off dot versus Taylor, I believe. Again, look for this game to get fairly physical as this game continues. It happened the last time these two squared off last fall in North York. Severn cutting through, tripped up by Ashlyn Donald. Play continues. Chip off the near side boards and all the way back to Maxwell behind her net. She'll bring it around the near side corner to the blue line, where it's found by Taya Wallace. Wallace will take her time coming across that blue line. Cut out in front for McNichol. She finds that one-timer by Severn. Saved by Earl. Shot by Winner. Scores 3-0. Barrie Sharks. Junior Sharks goal scored by number 12, Mally Winter. Her fourth goal of the season on the power play. Back in the center square, or in the center face-off, excuse me. North York has it after the draw. Back to Barrie. Barrie will send it forward all the way down. That should be icing against the North York Storm, and it is. Face off to the right of Earl. And right off the hop, we have another penalty coming. It's going to be a tripping call. Rowe gets right back into the sin bin for tripping, and the Sharks go right back to the power play. So we'll set up and have a face-off right back to the right of Caitlin Earl. Holding the square off against Sadie France. Puck will squirt loose to the far side. Meta pinching in. May Severn with another assist this evening, and Taya Wallace picking up that second assist on that power play goal. Sharks back on the power play. Here comes Sonia Mena down the far side. Hits the brakes, back to Dion at the blue line. Dion to Meta, one-timer. Saved by Earl. Loose puck finds its way back to Sonia Meta. She'll bring it around the boards to the near side for Sadie France. France to Kathleen Dion, far side. Looks for the one-timer, but half fans on the shot. Down low behind the goal line. Sadie France finds it. Dion at the point, back to Meta, looking for another one-timer. That goes wide. De Silva trying to poke it out in front, trying to go short ways. Goes behind, and the North York Storm will relieve the pressure. That's Hardman getting it out. Dion in her own end. Now halfway through that power play. El De Silva trying to get around Olivia Letty. Over to Taya Wallace. Wallace finds it, gets it off the corner, tries a wraparound, gets it out in front for May Severin, but that's fanned on. Loose puck will sit there, bouncing all the way. It gets out of the slot. Emily Wallace down the far side for the North York Storm, hands it off to Letty. Can't hold on to it as she trips over the blue line. Back out to neutral. 15 seconds remaining in the power play. Larissa Mayer lifts and fires it. Right back to Nazir. Nazir, Wallace, short side, poked aside by May Severin. She gathers that puck through the neutral zone, fires it off to Mally Winner, our recent goal scorer. Rowe is back on the ice. We're back to 5-on-5. Rowe with a breakaway attempt. Tries to get around Riley Maxwell, and Maxwell just gets a piece of it. Goes to the side. Looks like that's whistle dead because of the net is off. Riley Maxwell standing tall. Rowe trying to deke around, and it just gets poked aside. Always got to be careful with that player coming out of the sin bin. If she gets a hold of that puck, she's off to the races, as in this case. Blue line. Right out in front. Allie Homick sending it off to Ella. Allie Homick to Ella Sabarin. That's going to be a tongue twister tonight. Far side for Sabarin. Picked up behind the goal line by Taylor for the North York Storm. Handing it off to Donald, poked aside. Temporarily picked up again by Taylor. Taylor trying to weave around. Poked aside again by Allie Homick. Collision there in the far side corner, and that is going to be a penalty call against the Barrie Sharks as Olivia Letty is down. North York trainer will come out. 2 minutes for roughing is the call against Piper 7. I couldn't quite see all of the collision, but of course we hope that she is okay. She is down on the ground. We'll just move the camera off of that. We'll let the trainer attend to the player on the ice here. We're just over 15 minutes to go here in the second period. 3-0 Barrie Sharks. Just a reminder, the Sharks are back in action again this coming Saturday night as they travel down the road and visit the Leaside Wildcats. And then they will visit Burlington on Sunday afternoon at 3. A lot of road games happening in the month of January as we inch closer to the playoffs. Sharks holding on to 9th place, and they want to pull up into at least that 8th spot so they can get home ice advantage during the first round of playoffs. Trainer still attending to the player on the ice, and we'll take a second while that happens. So stand by, folks. Looks like she's up to her knees. That's a good sign. It's like the referee is saying something to the coaches on the North York bench. Not sure if there's an issue with a concussion or not. Letty is still on the ice on her knees, but she is up. So the referee is explaining something to both the North York bench and to the Barrie bench as Letty does go to... Is it Letty? No, it's not. It's Halliday. Excuse me. It's Reese Halliday. My apologies. Piper 7 is sitting in the bin, 2 minutes for roughing, and the North York Storm are on a power play right now. McNichol to take the draw. Larissa Mayer in a foot race for Taya Wallace. Mayer gets to it first, hands it off to Emily Wallace, and she'll send it behind the net. Emily Wallace will hold on to that puck, trying to deke around Taya Wallace. At the blue line, trying to send it through. Wallace for the Sharks getting in the way. Mayer backhanding it to Emily Wallace. She'll cut in, fires it through, and that's deflected by Sonia Meta and back into the near side boards. Wallace down to Mayer. To the near side corner for Taylor. She'll cut in. Backhands it back to Mayer. Mayer trying to send it through. Backhand by Wallace, and that's pushed aside by the Sharks defense, and the Sharks will clear the zone. Coming in shorthanded is Taya Wallace looking for Winter, and that skips aside. Doesn't get all the way to her. Taylor sending it back to her own goal line. Severn chasing after it. 52 seconds remaining in the power play for the Storm. Cosgrave trying to get it out, can't get it past Dunn. Dunn trying to bring it in. She'll whip it around behind the net. Collected by Wong at the near side board. She's in a fight now with Kathleen Dion. Found by Inacio. Over to Ashlyn Donald. North York trying to get it out in front. 20 seconds remaining on the power play. Back to the blue line. Wong fires it through, and that's deflected off into the far side corner. Sticks go flying. 10 seconds remaining. Down to the goal line for Nazir. Nazir towards the net. Sharks get a hold of it. Can't quite clear the zone as Piper 7 hits back to the ice, and we're back to 5-on-5. Out in front, point blank range by Dunn. Loose puck steered aside by the Sharks defense, and the Sharks will skate away with it. This is May Severn with Sadie France on her right. Pushed aside by Hartle. Ashlyn Dunn will bounce it behind the net. Down to Adriel Charette. She's got a goal in this game. Up to Sadie France, trying to get around Hartnell. To Charette. Through the middle. Nobody home. Collected by the North York Storm, and they will clear the zone. Papadopoulos carries the puck in. Can't hold on to it, and the Sharks clear it to neutral. Here's McNichol. Makes a turn at the red line. Harbeck fights for that puck, but can't win it. In comes Holden now for the North York Storm. Right through the slot area. Here comes Sadie France for the Sharks. She'll deke around Papadopoulos and around Hartle. Trying to send it through as she fires it right in on the short side, and Earl gets enough of it and makes the stop. Face off here to the right of Earl. It's going to be Winter and Wallace. On the draw, won by the Sharks. De Silva finds the puck, backhands it to Meta. She'll send it through and she scores. Sonia Meta points to her cheering fans behind the plexiglass. Sonia Meta notching her 8th goal of the season, and it's 4-0 Barrie Sharks. Back on the face-off dot is Winter and Wallace. Sharks win the draw. Sonia Mehta sends it over to her D partner. It'll travel the length of the ice and we'll have an icing call against the Barrie Sharks. Just about set to hit the halfway point. Just under 12 minutes to go here in period number 2. Now 4-0 Barrie Sharks. Face-off won by the Sharks. Maddie McKay now. Just coming off a 5-game point streak. Wants to start a new point streak, I'm sure. De Silva behind the net. Over to Emily Wallace. She tries to clear the zone. She gets it over the blue line. De Silva and 7 getting those assists on that goal. Goal number 4 of this contest. Puck now behind the goal line, gets out to Maddie McKay. Maddie McKay sends it over to the far side. Looking to feed off Severn in the slot. It's going to get picked up by the North York Storm. Here comes Samantha Wong. Fears it up to Nazir. Nazir point blank. Maxwell's got it. No goal. Waved off immediately by the referee. Maxwell seemed to have it. Nazir is probably arguing that the goal went in even though Maxwell had it. But it was waved off, and we don't have video review at these junior games, unfortunately. So whatever the referee says stands. Done on the face-off for North York. Face-off to the left. That's against the left of Maxwell, and that's against Severn. Over the far side. Wong holds onto it, sends it back behind the goal line. Mayer for North York trying to come in and pull that puck away off the boards. Here's Severn. She's got the puck in the neutral zone. She's got Nazir in front of her, trying to scoot through, pushed aside before she could get a shot off. In comes Charette trying to get past Inacio. Homick down behind the goal line. It's going to get picked up by Larissa Maris. She'll lift it to the neutral zone and down in front of Gabby Willard. Gabby Willard sends it forward to Homick. She's just a stride behind that, so it's going to be icing. Or she might have had an opportunity all by herself, but we're going to have a face-off back in the Sharks' end. 10:01, and now we're at the halfway point of the second period. Face-off to the left of Maxwell. That's won by the Sharks. Willard sending it over to Sabourin. Sabourin trying to center it up, but Holden for the North York Storm finds it. Trying to send it through. Sharks reclaim the puck, and it gets out to neutral. Here comes Alice Sabourin. She's got Ali Homick with her. Can't center it up. Puck sits there for a quick second. Sadie Frantz sending it off to Sonia Mehta at the blue line. Centering it up. Intercepted by the North York Storm. Down to DaCosta. DaCosta lifting it and getting it to neutral. Picked up by Sonia Mehta in her own end. Mehta sending it forward. Right onto DaCosta's stick, who sends it back into the Sharks' end. McNichol trying to get over that red line so the North York Storm can have another opportunity in the Sharks' end. Mehta gets it to neutral. Up to Taya Wallace trying to look for Brumwell. North York Storm take over 2-on-2. Emily Wallace looking for a backhand as it trickles right onto Sonia Mehta's stick. Up to Taya Wallace. Wallace trying to get around Barrie. They enter the blue line, can't hold on to the puck, and now Barrie does have that puck behind the goal line. Down to the nearest side. Ashlyn Donald. Over to Hardman. Hardman can't hang on. Comes right out to Kaya Harbach, who makes a shot in, but it's deflected. So that doesn't reach the mark. Right out in front again for Kaya Harbeck, and she can't lift it over. Back to the blue line, through traffic, to the far side, just past the post. Pushing and shoving happening here. No call. Actually, no, the referee's hand is up for roughing. So the Sharks are going to get called on the roughing. And the North York Storm will bounce onto the power play. Shot in by Taylor. Can't get it to her forehand. Dion touches up, and that's when the whistle gets blown. It'll be a tripping call, Ashley, not roughing. My mistake. Mally Winchell will get called on that. $7:50 remaining in the second period. 4-0 Barrie Sharks, and the North York Storm have yet another power play. Shot through, saved by Maxwell. That shot made by Inacio. Ianazo, try to get that correct. Ianazo. My apologies if I'm not pronouncing that right. Shot, goal, and they score. Number 63, Amber Nazir, with her 11th goal of the season, and they've broken the zero on the board on the power play. That only took 12 seconds on the power play. So maybe North York has found life. We will see what happens as the rest of this period continues. Now that North York Storm have got a power play goal. Sadie France behind the goal line, trying to get it out in front. De Silva will step in, try to keep it away from McNichol. Puck will sit there in the far side corner, and it comes out to Maddie McKay. McKay will step in, can't get the shot off. Rowe lifts her stick, and Emily Wallace will take that puck into the Sharks' end. Looking to get it out in front for Rowe. That doesn't quite work. Mayer at the blue line, sending it into the corner. Another shot in, saved by Maxwell. Trying to go short side. Trying to stuff it in under the pads of Maxwell. Doesn't work. It'll come all the way down. And that will be an icing call against the Barrie Sharks. Not quite in agreement as everybody else, but that is icing nonetheless. So we'll have a face-off back in the Sharks' end, just to the left of Maxwell. Remind you, we are back to 5-on-5 now, as that was a quick power play. It only took 12 seconds to get a goal on that. Meta trying to get around Papadopoulos. It'll come back to the near side. Shot in by Ashlyn Donald from the blue line, back out to the neutral zone. Hartle for the North York Storm puts it down behind the goal line. Maxwell finds it and leaves it. Meta can't come away with it, to the far side for De Silva and back out into the neutral zone. Ella Sabrin will pick it up, and she's got 4 white sweaters around her, waiting for reinforcements. Loses the handle. It's going to get picked up by Papadopoulos behind the goal line. DaCosta trying to feed it off to Donald, excuse me. Donald looking for it. It will come out to neutral zone. She's trying to chase after it. She sends it to the far side. Papadopoulos gets there and chips it into the Sharks' end. Bit of holding going on behind the goal line. That's Holden and Seben locking it up. Puck right out for Severn, trying to backhand out in front. Dunn trying to get it forward. Sharks reclaim it. This is Homick. Sabrin finds it on the far side. To the blue line for Dion. She'll fire it through. Looks like a toe was kicked by Earl, and it just goes past the near side post and all the way down the distance for an icing call against the North York Storm. 5:10 remaining in period number 2. Now 4-1 in favor of the Barrie Sharks. Dion to the far side. Charette fires it in. I didn't even notice. Mancini's now in net for the North York Storm. There was a change of goalies. My bad on that. Mancini is now between the pipes. Wallace now has the puck over the red line, trying to get around Barrie. She'll go around the net, making a half a lap. She'll backhand it down, but right onto a North York stick. They get rid of it quickly, trying to feed off to McNichol. That will come back the other way, and that will be an icing call against the Barrie Sharks. So once again, number 31, Veronica Mancini, now in goal for the North York Storm. Mayer holds the line. North York continuing their onslaught here in the Sharks' end. Shot through by Samantha Wong and a save by Maxwell. Play continues here in the Sharks' end. Goalie change happening at the 12-minute mark remaining in the second period. Just to confirm that. My bad for not picking it up sooner. On the near side corner and off the board. Shot in by Mayer, and Maxwell's going to scoop that one up with the glove. Just under 4 minutes to go here in period number 2. Now 4-1 Barrie Sharks is game 36 of the regular season. Game 36 out of 48. We're nearing the end, folks. We're getting closer. Was holding on the face-off for the North York Storm, and it's won by the Sharks to the far side. It'll trickle into the neutral zone. In comes Ashlyn Donald. Feeds it back. Loose puck on the far side. Maxwell pokes it away. It comes right to the slot area. Meta finds it and sends it all the way down, but that will be another icing call. No? No, icing waved off at the last second. I saw the hand up. Samantha Wong gets it to the neutral zone, but picked off by Sonia Meta. She'll make a big turn, come across that blue line, trying to cut in. Saved by Mancini. Another quick shot off by May Severin. Misses on the near side. Wong trying to fight through. Severin, she'll turn and fire again. And a stop by Mancini. Done on the face-off for the North York Storm. It's won by the Sharks. Fire in. Another save by Mancini. Quick shot there by Cosgrave at the blue line. Another face-off between Dunn and Winter. Hartle down to DaCosta for the North York Storm and up to Nazir. Nazir deflects that puck right onto a Shark stick, and they get it to the neutral zone. Homick to Winter. Fire in and a save by Mancini. Just over 2.5 minutes to go in frame number 2. North York has that puck after the draw, sends it to the neutral zone, picked up by Gabby Willard. She'll feed it to Bromwell, who can't hang on to it. DaCosta sending it up. Here's Taylor, poked aside by Charette. Reclaimed by Taylor as she comes around and makes the circle. Bromwell now finds that puck in the slot and feeds it off to Taya Wallace. Wallace through the blue line. Gets around DaCosta but can't hold on to the puck. Back to Willard at the blue line. To the far side for Charette. Fires, that goes through the blue paint and out the other end. Shot in quickly on the short side, steered aside by Mancini. Sharks still trying to get it out in front. Hartle for North York puts it to the corner. And now back to the near side boards. Nazir trying to grab it and get away with it. And go for a skate. Sharks keep it on play. North York now reclaiming that puck and getting it to the neutral zone, but Nazir can't get it down so she can skate away with it. Back to Sadie France. She'll come in, weave around. Kind of a 3-on-2 developing here. Shot through to Simone Swanson. Couldn't quite receive that pass quickly enough to get a shot off. Behind the goal line, Papadopoulos to DaCosta. Sharks, Sonia Mano holds the blue line, steps in, fires, and a glove stop by Mancini as we are just over 1 minute to go in period number 2. Face off to the left of Mancini. It's going to be Emily Wallace versus Severn. To the blue line. Hits a body. Here come the North York Storm back the other way. Trying to get it into the slot area for McNichol. She'll go find it behind the goal line. Barrie trying to come in and get a shot off. McNichol doing all she can to fight for that puck, but the Sharks will clear the zone and get it down. Icing waved off. Severn trying to get it out in front. Pushed aside by Hardman. Wallace for the North York Storm gets it to the neutral zone and will have a free opportunity as she gets past the defense. Waits! Can't get the shot off. Maxwell steering her around to the near side post, and she couldn't get the shot off. Puck will bounce off the back of the boards, and Mancini will leave it. Cosgrave touches it, but she comes in offside, so she can't play it. Comes back out to the neutral zone as we approach our final 5 seconds of period number 2. McKay will just work her time back in her own end as the seconds tick off, and that will do it for period number 2. After 40 minutes, it's 4-1 Barrie Sharks in this game 36 of the regular season. We'll step aside here for a Zamboni break, and I'll come back and give you the third period, folks. Welcome back, folks. We're getting set here for the third period. Just under a minute left in the intermission. Went to go check my score sheet to make sure I matched up what the scorekeeper says. And shots on goal in the second period were 12-6 in favor of the Barrie Sharks. That's 25-10 in total. So a little lopsided in that department. It's now 4-1 for the in favor of the Barrie Sharks. North York getting on the board with a power play goal scored by Amber Nazir. Barrie goal scorers are Annabella Cosgrave and Charette in the first period, and then Mally Winter and Meta in the second. And we're set for the third period, folks. Here we go. After the draw, Willard dumps it down into the North York end. They don't hold on to possession long. It'll come right back to neutral. Charette sends it forward. Shoved off is by Letty, and Eldridge looking for a call, and it doesn't happen. It looks like Maxwell was going to make a beeline for the bench, but no arm went up. Direct elbow. Anyway, play continues. It's going to be on the offside. Expect that type of play to continue through the third period. We'll see how the referees handle it. Mally Winter on the draw against Dunn for the North York Storm. Won by the Storm. They'll dump it down into the Barrie end. Maxwell will leave it for Kathleen Dion, being chased by Donald. On the far side for Simone Swanson, she'll find the puck. But can't get it too far past the blue line. Doubling back as Kathleen Dion. She'll get it up to Harbeck. Tries to get rid of it. Hartle for North York. Over to DaCosta. And back in for Dunn for North York. Battle on the far side. Right around the far side goal post. Barrie Sharks find it. Here's Kaya Harbeck. Off to Swanson, who gets tripped up on Hartle's stick. North York bringing it back the other way. It'll come the distance, and that will be an icing call against the Barrie Sharks. So just 18:42 here. We're barely, not even 2 minutes in. And a lot's happened so far. Face off to the left of Maxwell. She's only faced 10 shots through 2 periods, according to the scorekeeper, so she hasn't been overly busy, but sharp when she needs to be. Rowe, down behind the goal line. Picked up by Annabella Cosgrave. Annabella Cosgrave got the scoring going in the first period. Harbeck trying to get it out to neutral. North York putting it back in play. Holden for North York chasing after it. Far side. So, short side. Maxwell trying to guard that post. She tried to put a glove on it. You could hear it hit the pad too. North York sailing it through, goes over everybody's head into the near side corner. Battle in front in the crease. Maxwell trying to get on top of it. And the puck is finally whistled dead. All right, looks like this could be a face-off on the outside of that blue line, just outside of the Sharks' end. Wallace to square off against May Severn. Sharks have it. Maddie McKay trying to feed De Silva. Can't hold on. Wong gets it over that red line. Back into the North York end. Back into neutral zone. That's picked off by Maddie McKay. She'll turn it in. De Silva on the short side. That flies through the crease into the corner. Meta holding the line. McKay over to Meta. Meta will dump it down. De Silva trying to find it on the other end. Wong trying to work it out, and she does. Looking for Nazir. Sharks bring it back into the North York end, but only momentarily. Back out to Emily Wallace. Wallace gets around 7, fires. Maxwell gets a piece of it, and it skips off into the mesh, and we'll have a face-off to the right of Maxwell. Sharks from the draw. Willard on the far side gets it over, and that is going to be icing again. .53 remaining here in the third period, folks. And just one final reminder, the Sharks are back in action again Saturday night in Leaside. Off the plexiglass into the neutral zone, and Hartle's going to double back. She'll make a turn. Sends it back up to Nazir. She'll come across the blue line, drop pass to Taylor. Taylor can't get around Willard. Now to the far side. Homick trying to pull it away from the far side boards. Olivia Letty trying to work her stick onto it, as is Amber Nazir. It'll skip out now to the blue line for DaCosta. DaCosta gently slides it in. It'll go past everybody and behind the goal line. Around the far side. Sharks have control. They'll lift it and get it to neutral. Caught by Ashlyn Donald, but can't hold on. Sharks get it back out to the neutral zone for Hartle of the Storm. Picked off by Taya Wallace as she comes off the bench. Backhand. Saved by Mancini. Cosgrave can't hold on to it. Hardman nearly had a runaway with it, but the Sharks managed to steal that puck back. Skipping to the near side corner. Back out in the front, Ashlyn Donald trying to hold on, rolls off the end of her stick again. Right back to Hardman in the North York end. Donald can't find it. Mally Winter puts it back behind the goal line. Right out in front, in steps Dion. She'll put it back behind the goal. Sharks trying to center it up, but it goes behind the net for Barrie of the North York Storm. They get it out, and it's just tipped off the end of Donald's stick and into the North York bench. So we'll have a stoppage in play here with 15:14 to go in the third period. Big shout out to my mom if she's actually up watching. She's always been a big fan of mine. She always catches my live stream. Shot in by Harbeck and a save there by Mancini. This one is a late one, Mom, so I'll understand if you're not watching live. And of course, welcome aboard to all the North York Storm fans who are watching on the live stream. It'll come all the way out to the neutral zone and all the way into the Sharks' end, and we'll have another icing call, but this time against the Storm. I do have to say it again, I find it ironic that the game that was rescheduled from Sunday due to the Storm was against the Storm. So this is a game versus the Storm after the Storm. I don't know if that's fate or an interesting coincidence. In comes the new center. Shot in by the Sharks. They get it out to the neutral zone. Yes, they will. Here comes the North York Storm. Wallace on the low side, and Maxwell's just going to scoop that up. Coming in was Ianazo. Face off to the left of Maxwell here. It's going to be Emily Wallace versus Sadie France for the Barrie Sharks. Won by the Storm. Larissa Mayer puts it through, but just past everybody into the near side corner. De Silva trying to work it out from behind the goal line, as is Wallace. Maxwell does a great job keeping it on the outside of her post, but the North York Storm reclaim possession at the blue line. Wallace fires it through, up and down, and right into the glove of Maxwell. Holden to take the draw for the North York Storm. Versus Mally Winter. Sharks have it. To Dion. Dion to Cosgrave. Cosgrave with a long cross-ice pass picked up by the Storm at the blue line, and they'll re-enter the zone. Winter to Cosgrave. Cosgrave trying to send it through. Ali Homix chasing after it. North York gets to it first. Samantha Wong down to the near side. Shot in by Cosgrave and a toe save by Mancini. Puck comes in again. Just skips aside to the far side. Now off the boards. Cosgrave finds it at the blue line, steps in, fires it through, but it misses on the far side. Larissa Mayer can't hold on. Ella Sabarin to Winter. Winter trying to get out in front, but has her pocket picked quickly by Wong. Wong's going to go for a skate now as that puck is handed back to her. Drop pass as she goes head first into the boards. Some cheering happening on the benches for that play. Bodies are going flying here at both ends. Letty trying to work her way forward in front of Severn, and that will be a penalty call. Interference being called against the Barrie Sharks. It's going to be May Severn with the infraction, and the North York Storm will have another power play. And the last time these two teams squared off, it was a 5-2 victory for the Barrie Sharks. And double-digit penalties were called in that game. So definitely was expecting no different in today's contest, which is exactly what we're getting. Maxwell trying to hold on to that post, and she does. That'll be a whistle and a face-off. Face off to the right of Maxwell. Go behind the goal line and over to Sonia Meta. Meta to Wallace. Wallace finds it short side. Shot in. Saved by Mancini. Finds the rebound. It trickles. Can't poke it in on the short side. Send the puck all the way down. No icing on that. Oh, no, it is icing. Face off to the left here of Mancini. 1:34 remaining in the power play. Quick shot in by Brumwell. Doesn't miss by much. Nazir finds it. Sends it back to her defense. Cross ice pass here for Wallace. Wallace back to Nazir on the other side. She'll drop it to Taylor. Taylor to Nazir. Trying to go around the backside. Loose puck in front. Taylor can't find it. Sharks trying to get a hold of it to clear the zone. Just about a minute gone here in the power play. Nazir on the near side. Will skate to the blue line. She'll fire it through. That hits a body and does not meet the target. Sharks find it in the slot area. It's Mally Winter handing it off to Bromwell. Off the end of her stick. Reclaimed by Nazir in her own end. Wallace trying to skate around Winter. She hands it off to Dunn. Puck bouncing everywhere, and the Sharks get a hold of it and send it down with less than 40 seconds remaining in the power play. Mayer. Dunn trying to send it off to Rowe, intercepted by Charette, and she'll send it right back into the North York end. Handed back to Donald. Donald trying to get around Taya Wallace. Wallace does her job. She's got a hold of it. Can't send it back to her defense. Willard's got it now. She'll send it through with just 5 seconds remaining on the power play for the North York Storm before Severn steps to the ice. Now she's out, back to 5-on-5. Nothing happening in that power play for North York. Shot down behind the goal line. Maxwell will leave it for Charette. McKay trying to feed off Sadie France off the end of her stick, so Wong will take over. Back to Hardman. Back and forth over the blue line. Hardman now is going to go for a skate, and she's pushed off and elbowed by Severn. No call on the play. Willard trying to get around the North York Storm, looking for Holden in the slot. Loose puck in front, short side. Maxwell is sealed off that post, so nothing's getting through, and now out to Simone Swanson behind the North York goal as we approach the 10-minute mark here remaining. Halfway through period number 3, still 4-1 Barrie Sharks. Swanson trying to find Winter. North York Storm back to the corner. Back behind the goal line again for Hardman. Hardman trying to feed it off in front. Can't do it, so the North York Storm will double back behind their own goal line. Right out in front. Dion fires it through. Harbeck looking for the loose puck. North York gets it to the neutral zone. Ianasso will dump it down and head off to the bench for a line change, and here comes McNichol for the Storm. Dion to the far side for Swanson, and she'll dump it down and have a seat. And Mancini will cover that one up. 9:08 remaining in period number 3. No scoring so far in the third period. Again, shots on goal after 2 periods, 25-10 in favor of the Sharks. Amber Nazir now on the far side. Drops it to McNichol. She can't hold on. The puck will just trickle into Maxwell's glove. And that's going to be a call. Four minutes for Amber Nazir for head contact. Sharks on a 4-minute power play with less than 9 minutes to go in period number 3. False start here, so we'll do that one over again. Face off to the right of Mancini. Sadie France on the draw versus Wallace for the North York Storm. Back to Dion at the blue line. Dion. Meta, one-timer, shot through just past the far side post and out the other end. Meta over the red line. Bromwell feeding it off to Sadie France. Severn. Nope, De Silva, excuse me, at the blue line. Handing it off to Sonia Meta. Meta will bring it around the boards to the far side. Sadie France catches up to it and sends it to the point. Shot in, deflected. So that doesn't meet the target. Sharks still in possession of the puck. To the goal line. Cutting in to Silva, to Meta. Just past her, and the North York Storm will have a chance to clear that puck. McNichol will dump it down. Dion looking for a pass to De Silva. She can't hang on to it for too long. 1 minute gone in that power play. Back to May Severn. She'll weave around Taylor. Down low behind the goal line. Behind the net. Half a lap. Cutting in to the far side. Back to Severn for a one-timer, and that hits Ashlyn Donald in front, and the North York Storm will clear it. Minute and a half gone in the power play. Severn trying to weave around Donald. To Wallace. Passing it off to Winter as they enter the zone. She'll cut to the middle. Can't get the shot off. You could hear a save by Mancini, but the puck will skip out to the far side. Puck will trickle out to the blue line for Charette. She'll guard the blue. Down to France. France tries to fire. That hits the North York Storm's shin guard. Loose puck. Wallace trying to find it. Mancini jumping on it. And finally the whistle is blown. All right, face off to the right of Mancini. It will be Sadie France versus Dunn at the blue line for Dion. Sabourin now on the power play, along with Ali Homick. To Dion. Down from Meta, fires. Saved by Mancini. Loose puck, scores. That looks to be scored by Sadie France. That will be her 8th goal of the season, and the Sharks go up 5-1. That goal happening after the 2-minute mark, so that will negate the power play. So, power play goal scored by number 6, Sadie France. Back to 5-on-5 with just over 6.5 minutes to go in period number 3. More bodies flying. Meta and Dion getting the assists on that goal as play continues here in the North York end. They'll bring it around the near side. Charette trying to hold on to the line, sending it back for Sabourin. Sabourin can't find it, so the North York Storm will get it out. Letty trying to chase after it, but it finds Charette. Charette pokes it through, looking for Sabourin and Ali Homick, who are now back out after the power play is ended. Hardman to Papadopoulos. She comes across that blue line, but can't hold on to the puck. Here comes Wallace for the North York Storm. Can't get the shot off, has her stick lifted a couple of times and couldn't get the shot off. Here's Ella Sabourin with Harbeck. To Harbeck, looking for the deflection, and a great save by Mancini. Puck loose out in front, now down to Kaya Harbeck. She's trying to find Simone Swanson, but she's too many strides behind. So the North York Storm's Barrie brings it back into the Sharks' end. North York trying to hold the line. They reclaim the puck at the red. Back to McNichol. McNichol's got a little bit of space. She works around Dion, waits, fires, and a save by Maxwell. Puck will come into the slot. It's going to be collected by Simone Swanson. She'll skid away with it, but she's got Holden on her heels. She can't get around both white sweaters, so the North York Storm will reclaim that puck. Come along the near side boards and out into the neutral zone. Piper Sebin now for the Sharks, finds his puck, sends it forward for Taya Wallace. She comes across that blue line. Puck will sit there for a second, and a save by no, goal. I thought she saved it. No, the Sharks are going to score on that. Mancini couldn't get down fast enough. We'll see who gets awarded that goal. I didn't see who touched it last, and I'll have to wait until that's announced. We'll do that face-off again. Winter versus Dunn. 7 trying to work around Ashlyn Donald. We still have over 4 minutes to go in period number 3. Far side, looking for a shot is Taya Wallace, picked off by the North York Storm. Nazir gets it around 7, and they both go down. Meta sends it out in front. Too far past Taya Wallace. Abby Brumwell gets awarded that goal. Winter with the assist, so Abby Brumwell with her 6th goal of the season. And it's 6-1 Barrie Sharks. Puck now in the Sharks' end. Meta will backhand it to Simone Swanson. Looking for De Silva, intercepted by Rowe for the North York Storm. Meta sends it out to De Silva. She'll have to chase after it. She'll see who's around her. Looks like Letty was on her heels. Couple of girls tripping up, and it finally gets to neutral. Turned around by Maddie McKay, up to El De Silva. She'll work around Hardman, and that will skip over the crossbar. And it'll hit the plexiglass. Play continues in the North York end. Out into the neutral zone. McKay trying to turn it around from Hardman. She does that, trying to look for De Silva. In comes Sadie France with a shot, and the blocker saved by Mancini. Mancini trying to get the glove on it. McKay working around that glove, and the puck is still loose. Wallace for the North York Storm comes into the neutral zone. She's got Taylor with her, gets around, shot in. Maxwell with the save. De Silva with the puck, down the near side, cutting to the middle, trying to get around to Costa. She'll fire it, and that will hit the mesh behind the goal, and we will have a face-off. We are just under 2.5 minutes to go in period number 3, now 6-1 in favor of the Barrie Sharks. I'll face off here to the left of Mancini. It's going to be Holden versus Sadie France. DaCosta finds it after the draw, trying to feed it off to Ianazzo. It'll come to the neutral zone. North York Storm trying to put it in play in the Sharks' end. It'll come behind the goal. Dion to Sabourin. Sabourin cutting around. Leaves it for, I believe that's Homick. Back to Dion. They'll send it forward, right on to Barrie's stick for the North York Storm. Down to Ianazzo. Dion for the Sharks, gets it up to Mally Winner. She'll cut through, trying to hand it off to Sabourin or Homick. Puck sits inside the North York end. But McNichol trying to pull that puck along with her, trying to cut to the middle, but poked aside. McNichol in the neutral zone, hands it back to Larissa Mayer. Mayer with a turn. She's got a little bit of space as she cuts through. Has her pocket picked by May Severin, and the 2 nines collide in the corner. Harbeck over the blue line as we enter the final minute of play in the third period. Behind the goal line. Kaya Harbeck still on the job. It's going to get picked up by Hartle for the North York Storm into the far side. Donald. Backhand to McNichol. 40 seconds remaining in the period. Piper 7 will dump it down in the final 30 seconds here of the third. McNichol finds it on the other side. Handing it off to Wong, picked up by Wallace at the red line. She'll hold onto that puck and throw it into the North York end. It'll stay in that North York end. Wong chasing after it, final 10 seconds. Back to the near side corner as Gabby Willer tries to hold onto that puck at the blue line. Final 5 seconds here, maybe a chance for Wallace. Nope, it's gonna skip to the far side, and that's how this game is going to end. It was a chippy one, it was riddled with penalties, but in the end, the Sharks were victorious 6-1 and earned themselves 3 points. And that will be a positive thing as they try to get in that top 8 and finish in the top 8 after the end of the regular season. Well, that's game 36, folks. Game 37 coming up on Saturday night as the Sharks travel down the road to visit the Toronto Leaside Wildcats, and I'll have that one for you for sure. And then on Sunday, they will be in Burlington. Well, James, I think it's time to say goodnight here from the Shark Tank as the two teams come to center ice and shake hands. My name is Cheryl Gilroy, along with my partner tonight, James Battaglia. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. We will see you again on Saturday. Keep the faith, folks. Good night.